Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Richard Bach is an American writer and former Air Force pilot who has written extensively on themes of aviation and spiritual exploration. Drawing from his experiences and philosophy, he conveys messages of freedom, self-development, and spiritual growth to his readers. His most famous work, Jonathan Livingston Seagull, published in 1970, gained immense popularity worldwide, inspiring countless readers. This book is not just a novel, but a philosophical fable that explores the meaning of life, and it was later adapted into films and animations. Bach continues to present profound messages about life and free will in his other works, helping readers gain a fresh perspective on their own lives. Jonathan Livingston Seagull tells the story of a seagull named Jonathan Livingston, who rejects an ordinary life and embarks on a journey to explore the meaning of flight, ultimately attaining enlightenment and freedom. The book can be divided into three main parts. Seagulls living by the sea are primarily concerned with finding food. For them, flying is merely a tool for survival and improving their skills. Beyond necessity is considered pointless. However, Jonathan Livingston is different from the other seagulls. He dreams not just of flying, but of achieving the perfect flight. Jonathan aspires to fly at higher speeds, maneuver with precision, and experience the pure joy of flying. He tirelessly practices to reach speeds exceeding 200 miles per hour, performing aerial acrobatics and adjusting his wing angles to refine his technique. However, his behavior is seen as a violation of the flock's rules, and he is eventually ostracized and exiled. Despite this, Jonathan remains undeterred. He continues honing his flying skills, pushing his limits in pursuit of true freedom. Although he endures loneliness, his relentless training leads him to a deeper understanding of flight and grants him greater mastery over the skies. Alone, Jonathan soars freely, perfecting his flight techniques to their fullest extent. One day, he encounters other seagulls who share his aspirations. These seagulls have already achieved the level of perfection Jonathan seeks. These newfound companions teach Jonathan that flying is not merely about skill, but is deeply connected to the state of one's mind. They transcend physical limitations, teleporting effortlessly and traversing space freely, using flight as a path to spiritual enlightenment. Under their guidance, Jonathan trains diligently and ascends to an even higher level of mastery. During this time, Jonathan meets his mentors, Sullivan and Elder Chiang. Chiang teaches him that flight represents ultimate freedom, and that true liberation comes from surpassing material constraints. Chiang instructs Jonathan that if he truly believes he has already arrived, somewhere in his mind, he can teleport instantly. As he practices this, Jonathan reaches new heights of awareness. He gradually transcends physical boundaries and gains a fresh perception of his own existence. Having attained enlightenment, Jonathan begins to reflect on the flock he left behind. Though he was once exiled, he now wishes to share the joy of flight and freedom, with the young seagulls still bound by the flock's restrictive traditions. With this in mind, he decides to return to the earthly realm. Upon his return, the flock still adheres to its rigid rules and sees Jonathan as a heretic. However, a few young seagulls are captivated by his words and eager to learn the meaning of freedom through flight. Jonathan teaches them the principles of flying and guides them toward a broader world. Among them, a young seagull named Fletcher absorbs Jonathan's teachings the most and develops exceptional flying skills. Fletcher gradually grasps Jonathan's philosophy and embarks on a path of growth and enlightenment through liberated flight. However, the conservative members of the flock attack Fletcher, and when he is injured, Jonathan uses teleportation to save him. Through this experience, Fletcher learns the true meaning of freedom and enlightenment. Ultimately, Jonathan realizes that his mission is complete. He entrusts Fletcher with leading future generations of seagulls and departs for a higher plane of existence. His final message is simple yet profound. We are all free beings, and we can become anything we desire. Jonathan Livingston Seagull is not just a simple fable. It is a philosophical allegory about humans overcoming their limits and seeking true freedom. Jonathan Livingston rejects societal constraints, pursues his dreams and convictions, and ultimately opens new possibilities not only for himself but for others as well. This story conveys several significant messages: freedom and self-development. It takes courage to break away from societal expectations and forge one's own path. Overcoming limits. The process of pushing personal boundaries and evolving is the essence of discovering life's meaning. Spiritual growth. The book emphasizes the importance of enlightenment and mental expansion beyond the physical world. Learning and teaching. The value of sharing knowledge and growing together is a fundamental part of a meaningful life. Jonathan Livingston Seagull transcends time and culture, continuing to inspire readers with its deep philosophical messages. It resonates with those seeking life's meaning, encouraging them to overcome limitations and soar into a greater world.